So I wanted to talk a little bit about our contact threat mitigation course. I developed this curriculum. It's been probably 6-7 years ago, and what happened was, in law enforcement, we're always contacting people, so we're always in that close contact distance with possible suspects. Everyone's a threat until we deem otherwise. But what happened was, in our regular qualifications, is we come up one arm distance away, and then we fire 2 rounds from the holster, and then we'd go back to 7 yards and set up the next sequence. There was never a why or whatever the follow-up sequence was when you're dealing with somebody this close. But as the law enforcement community knows, we're always up close talking to people. We try to keep our distance, but if they start closing that gap on us, it's gone to the point where they always taught us, oh my gosh, we're going to push off and we're going to start breaking that distance and coming back. If we start breaking that distance and moving back, well, you have to think about, well, one is, can they move faster forward than we can backwards? 2 is, if I start moving backwards, granted we're supposed to be situationally aware, but is there the potential of us tripping, falling, and now we're fighting from the ground? And that's just one of the bad places that we don't want to find ourselves. So with the contact threat mitigation, it starts off with the contact. You're talking to somebody, or someone starts closing that distance, and then you have to process the lethality of the threat. Do they have a knife, gun, bat, whatever the case is? You deemed it's a lethal threat, so now you have to go to work. Okay, I've seen videos, I've seen people demonstrate this stuff of we're just slapping them and then breaking our distance, or whatever sequence that they put in there. But the thing is we want to meet force with force. If someone's coming at me, I'm not going to just give them a little slap and start moving. You know what? It's an aggressive action. Because one thing is, that old saying is, how many guns are involved, in any of your fights? Well, at least one, because we brought it there. So automatically, we're going to want to trap our gun. We want to make sure they don't get this gun. So from this distance, like I said, we always want to blade ourselves. So if I come up and I come underneath the chin, saying where the head goes, what follows? Well, usually the body. So if I'm here, I'm going to make that strike underneath that chin. Well, we'll talk about blocking too, because the minute I make that strike, so I'm here, I'm going to my master grip, but I'm also blocking. As soon as I make that strike, I take that block. Okay, so here, and then once I get that block in place, so here, and then if it's lethal, all I have to do is boom, and then I'm here, and I can take that shot. And then we'll follow it up with breaking that line of attack, or coming off that line of attack and creating your distance.